You're listening to Rocket Night.
Are you ready? Hey, tonight I'm gonna take you on a little trip. We're going down south by the mighty Mississippi. I'm gonna take you to a place where lights never dim. Bring your mother, your brother, and your best friend. I'm gonna show you where they dance out in the street. They'll tell you all about your body heat. I'm not gonna talk about it, just gonna do it. Get on down, if you feel up good. Get on down.
Hey there, this is Tampa Earl for the Rocket Night podcast, and I'm bringing back an old friend of the podcast. I think I've talked to this lady more than any other artist that I've ever been around since I've been in the business. She is Tamar Berk.
Hi, Earl. Oh my gosh. I do feel like we're old friends.
Oh,
for
definitely.
Sure.
Yes. Because back in 2021, it was The Restless Dreams of Youth.
Yep.
In 2022, it was Start at the End.
Yep.
2023 rolls around and, we have a new Tamar Berk album. Tell us about Tiny Injuries.
Yeah. So after finishing Start at the End, which was like a very painful record to write, just emotionally, because it was like right after my dad died, for those people who in your audience going through a death, which could include somebody dying, a relationship dying, divorce, anything like that, there's always an aftermath of that. And you don't think about that. You just think about that person constantly. But what the aftermath was starting to take effect. And I had to deal a lot with my mother being alone, having to help her sell her house and move, going through my father's stuff. And the emotions of that was like a whole other animal that I was dealing with. And I started to write songs, but I also was consciously saying, I want this to feel like a journey, an emotional journey, but I also wanted it to feel like a fun summer album. So I was very careful in how I presented the songs. Even if the lyrics were a little bit dark, I wanted some of them to be summery and catchy. So for instance, like one of my favorite tracks, very Go-Go's-esque, I suppose, is track 2 called Sunday Driving. And it's a painful song written about me having to go to Florida and deal with some awful things. But I was like, I just want this to be something you're singing and it's a that lyrically painful song, but that you're just singing to get you through that. So if anybody else is experiencing that, they can sing it and kind of feel better about the situation, almost smile about it, like, So I started writing and collecting about, I started putting a song list together in a little bit more of a relaxed fashion with Matt Walker, who again is my musical partner. And it was a mishmash, actually. This time around, I just went with wherever my mind was going, which was like one day I was okay. The next day I was like not. The next day after that, I was down. It was just really crazy. And I thought I should just be honest and not try to retrofit it. I was like, I'm just going to go with this kind of up and down, because I also feel like we all feel that way right now. Like one day we're like, oh, I'm having such a great day today. And then the next day we're like, gosh, I do not want to get out of bed, which is actually what track 1, if you know, was all about. And I was very proud of that song too, because boy, that one is as true as it gets these days.
Well, I know I took listen to Sunday Driving was the song that jumped out to me, because it kind of had an attitude of, let's not try to dwell on things. Let's drive forward. Let's just not meander through things. We need a direction.
Yes.
and that's what really hit me with that song.
Yeah. Yeah. It was like, look, I'm going to scream at you while we're driving to the airport because I don't want to go and I'm going to be crying and it's going to be awful. But guess what? Don't remind me. I know and I have to go and that's it. And it is moving forward, you know. And I'm glad you got that out of it, Earl, because that's exactly what I was hoping for.
And you, if you know, you know. Once again, another great tune there, and the factor that it's kind of coming to the realizations, that are of situations that are around you. I thought that you captured with those first two songs that you really captured things very well.
Thank you. Yeah, you know, as much as I say I'm in over my head, I think I need to go back to bed. I don't actually do it, because I think I'm in way over my head, and maybe I'll just go back to bed. But it's not the way that I am. And I need to almost talk things through. I have this voice in my head constantly going about stuff. And sometimes just having that internal monologue helps me get through a situation. Like I can feel sorry for myself. And I think everybody has a right to feel sorry for themselves some days. It's okay. Like we are allowed that. But it's falling into a trap of the daily poor me, poor me. Everybody has the poor me. And that's the title of the album is Tiny Injuries. And, just the word tiny and injuries are a sort of verbal irony working against each other.
An oxymoron.
No injury is really ever tiny. But when we have those moments that cut us and hurt us, they are massive, and they feel like injuries, but we collect them over the years. And I like to look at them as tiny because if I look at them any bigger than that, I probably wouldn't get out of bed.
Definitely.
And so I wanted to sort of make this feeling like I feel you all out there. We all have these awful things going on. And you could just pull the covers over your head, or you could say, okay, I want to get through this, or at least try to have a better day today.
And let's see what happens tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah.
I tell you what, let's go ahead and get into those songs right now. We're gonna start off with Sunday Driving.
Awesome.
And we'll follow it up with If You Know, You Know. We're gonna delve into, Tamar Berk's brand new album that is available across all the digital outlets,
all the digital,
Bandcamp.
I got the blue vinyl just arrived.
Blue vinyl. All right.
It's a glacier blue. It's transparent.
Okay. Well, let's get into a couple of tracks from the new album, kicking it off with Sunday Driving. This is Tamar Berk on the Rock at Night podcast.
It's about that time we got on the highway. Then I'll say, how's the five looking know.
Welcome back to the Rocket Night podcast. This is Tampa Earl hanging out with one of my fave peeps. It is Tamar Berk celebrating her brand new album, Tiny Injuries. You just heard there, If You Know, You Know. Tamar, when you actually...
Oh, I think that was Sunday Driving.
No, we went with Sunday Driving first, and then,
Oh,
If You Know,
you
You
played
Know.
two in a row.
Yeah. I like to do that. It gives us a little
You have
break.
to listen back to this.
Yeah, definitely. But the thing is, this is your third album in 3 years.
Yes.
You've been really kind of kicking up your artistic output. We were talking a little earlier about the art that you've been doing. I've seen some of it. It's actually very good. Check out Tamar's Instagram page. She throws some art up there every once in a while for people to look at. Is this, I know I asked you this last year, but it really seems like you are putting more of a drive into this as a potential career. Have you thought about that? I mean, I know that it is hard as hell for the independents to do their thing. And I've noticed that you performed around San Diego there quite a bit, but finding the scratch to be able to make it work, I know is the thing.
Yeah. I think, and even Earl, you probably noticed this too. Even since 2021, my first album, the landscape has changed with TikTok, and it's nearly impossible to make a living in music. So, because labels are really only going for somebody who has a hit on TikTok, and the whole label landscape is so different. So could I do this as a career? I would love to. Am I making my money back that I put in? I am selling my vinyl and CD out. Like they're selling out, but I'm not talking about 10,000 units. I'm just an independent person. I do everything. I literally write a note to everybody in the vinyl. I ship it out. I do everything. Could I make a living on it? Probably not. Would I want to? Yes. Do I have more time now because I'm not teaching? Yes. I think it's just, I think I've come to accept that I can't really mentally be happy unless I make music. So no matter what happens, I'm always going to be putting stuff out. And I guess if I thought about it, like, can I put food on the table making music, that I probably have to stop. So luckily I'm making some money back to put right back into it. And I'm looking for different jobs to supplement my just life.
Yeah. I completely get what you're coming at with there, because that's the way I've done with a lot of my writing and career and my DJ work, is the fact that, hey, if I can make just a little bit of something off of it, that would be utterly fantastic.
I know.
If I make a world-killing amount of money, then woohoo.
Yeah.
So and that's why I try to continue with my writing and other works, is because not only does it give me that outlet,
yes,
but it also is something that I think provides something,
it does.
Not only to me but to other people.
Yeah. And I was listening to this podcast called Hidden Brain, and it was talking about how, like, the formula for success and longevity. And one of the things that struck me was just putting a lot of stuff out there. The more you put out there, just mathematically, the more likely something's going to hit. So it struck me, just as that analytical part of my brain. I was like, okay, I'm just going to put stuff out there. I'm just going to keep putting stuff out there, stuff that I love. And I have noticed that since 2021 in the Restless Dreams of Youth, that it has exponentially my fan base has grown exponentially just because of the fact that I have more stuff out. And so, and I've gotten better, and I would say I've gotten more refined maybe in my messaging or in my what I want to say. So it's just kind of interesting as an artist. It's always going to change, but you got to do it and you got to put it out.
Got to
You
do it.
can't you can't have one hit. There are a million bands that have a one hit wonder, and thank God for those one hit wonders. I love some of those one hit wonders.
Who doesn't?
Who doesn't? But I always think to myself, but what happened to them? And are they still like, does that count? Yeah, it counts. But do you look at them as an artist? I'm not sure that I would necessarily.
It's really surprising because I've noticed that there are a lot of these bands that, had that, AKA one hit, and, where are they now? A lot of them actually are still out there. They get to play their music,
some
to
of
live off that one song.
And that would be amazing. Yeah, that would. I'd be okay with that.
Who wouldn't? Yeah.
I know. It's so funny. Speaking of, so I got this message from the lead singer from Alphaville. If you remember that band back in the 80s, he had a song, Forever Young.
Yes.
Yeah.
Remember, yeah.
And he discovered me through Bandcamp and bought Start at the End and loves Tiny Injuries. And he's still doing music, and he's such a lovely person, but he reached out to me just cold, blindly, and said that he loved Tiny Injuries so much. And I was like, oh, that's just so cool.
Yeah, it is. You get that reinforcement that it kind of feels good. Yes,
it does.
Well, one thing that you should not have to be begging for reinforcement is Tiny Injuries. The album front to back, I have found is a outstanding. First of all, with Restless Dreams of Youth, you were kind of, getting some singer-songwriter acoustic stuff out of the way. Now we've gotten up to a point where we're kind of, delivering a little bit of a kick butt.
Yeah.
And you do that with the song 1997, which kind of to me was that thing that we all want to do in life. If you had the opportunity to go back and talk to yourself 25 years ago, what would you say? Or would you do it? And you kind of capture that attitude with 1997.
That's so awesome. I nostalgia in me, like there is something about the past, like that I get stuck on. And that year was tumultuous in many ways, but yeah, I'm so happy you said that, because I love that song. And I think we've all been in those moments where we want to fix something that happened. But also, like I was mentioning before, it's a lot about being careful about who you let into your life, because they can squash you. And that's kind of the theme of that song.
Yeah, definitely. I just before we're going to get into that song here in just a moment, but is there any concert dates coming in the near future? I know the San Diego indie scene has really embraced you. You've been up for several awards, for your work. What have we got on the agenda?
I just played the record release party at the Casbah here in San Diego, and this Saturday, which is August 19th, so I'm not sure when this is going to air, I'm playing at the Black Cat for part of the International Pop Overthrow Festival.
Mm-hmm.
And that should be fun. It's always a fun festival, because it's all about power pop and pop songs, and I definitely have that in my little bag of tricks. And it's a fun time. And then beyond that, I have some art shows coming up, and I'm just going to promote this online, but I'm going to try to get out of town a little bit. So I'm working on that. I just got to, when you have other band members who are in so many other bands, and you just got to work with people's schedules. So I'm working on it. So I'll let you know.
Okay, well, that's good because the thing is, to be able to get your music out to people, sometimes you do have to venture out.
You
And
do.
the worst thing about it is when you see some of these rather well-known artists saying, we tour, but we're not making anything.
I know.
And it
No.
comes back, that everything's in streaming nowadays, and nobody wants to actually pay the artists anymore. And if they're not making anything,
I
they're
think
going to quit creating.
they are going out to shows.
Yes.
Because my kid goes to a lot of shows, and they're usually packed, but this is a whole different generation. The kids are going out and seeing shows. I think I don't want to say the older generation, but I will say they're just finding that the bands they want to see, they're like wishy-washy. I'll just buy the album, or like, do I really want to go out in the public? Like, we're all just such a mess from COVID.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
I the thing is, I really wish you a great deal of success with Tiny Injuries. Get the album and get The Restless Dreams of Youth and get
Start at the end.
Start at the End.
Buy all three. Love it.
This is a trio of records that really shows a tremendous growth as an artist, improvements across the board in musicianship and songwriting. I really think it's a 3-album set that you can really get to know what an artist is. And Tamar, that's on you. That was your personal growth. And I think that was the most amazing thing about what you've done so far.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm so happy. I hope some of your listeners will look into it. And I love talking to people too. So if they find me on Bandcamp, I'll email back, I'll respond. And find me on Instagram. I talk to a lot of fans, and I like that because it's part of what it's about. I love hearing how you feel about the songs, which songs you like, how you found out about me, because that's important to me to maintain, those relationships, because it's just me, I don't have a team.
That's for sure. You don't have a team. It's all Tamar all the time.
That's scary. That's a scary thought. But
well, I thank you, Tamar, for your time today. We thank you for coming on the podcast.
You again.
We're gonna let you get out the door here with another track from Tiny Injuries. Here's 1987. Thanks a lot, Tamar.
You bet.
listening to Rock at Night.
The introductory song, Get On Down, is from blues artist Billy Bass Alford. Look for his music at ReverbNation.com.